Appreciate Coach Ed Ogeron stopping by here on this Tuesday morning. Jacob, you talked to him a little bit about that running back room, and you and I were talking a little bit in the break, and it's going to definitely be a different look when you just look at the production of that room, because it's going to be coming out of more parts. It won't be that one-headed attack this year like it was last year with Clyde.
Well, it will be by committee, and that's not a slight on the three guys that it's going to be. Clyde played 93% of the plays last year for LSU's offense. There was games where he didn't come out. I used to mess with him. He looked like Fred Sanford over there because he'd have his legs crossed and his hands on his hips, but they were like, hey, you got to stay in there, because he did so many things at an elite level. You talk about pass protection and catching the ball, making people miss, running inside zone, all of those things Clyde was really, really good at. That's not to say that this group can't be that. They can be, but it's okay if it's three guys doing it. Because before last year, every other national championship that LSU had won, well, it had been a running back by committee. Even in 2011, right, when they're the runners-up, it was running back by committee. LSU's had success doing that before. In 2007, we had all kinds of running backs, right? I mean, it was me, Keelan, Charles, Trenton Holiday, Richard Murphy. I mean, there was a ton of us that were going to play, and we all did something a little bit different, and that's okay. As long as you don't fall into tendencies, which Ensminger's really good about not doing, you can do it. Just make sure that all those guys are ready to play 15, 20 plays, whatever it might be.
What's the strong suit of this room? You got a hybrid out of the three, or is there one that does anything particularly better than all three of them?
Well, obviously, Chris Curry is downhill. I mean, he is downhill, hair on fire. I'm coming at you. Get out of my way. And you have to have that. I love that about him. And Ty Davis-Price can be a little bit of both. John Emery is definitely your big play home run hitter, can make a guy miss in space. He had some things going on as far as catching the ball last offseason. They've worked on those. I think he had some issues seeing the football, so they've actually tried to help that this offseason. So if he can be your pass catcher, that would be big for you. Now he's got to buy in pass protection-wise as well. Although LSU is a five-man protection team, and more than anybody in the country, you still at times will have to protect the quarterback. And there's going to be times where Miles Brennan or whoever it might be, well, it's going to be Miles, they have to trust you. They have to know when that safety's coming from the backside that John Emery's going to step up and he's going to have that taken care of. And that's something that if you get that, this can be a really good running back group.
They're high on Curry.
They are. Every time you talk to him.
Every time. And then Arik Gilbert, I think, jumped out of that conversation. I can't wait to see how they use Gilbert this season. I think the Linehan, Jason Witten working with those big tight ends and getting those guys. He's a different player than Witten, but just being able to get the tight end the football and creating mismatches is something that I can't wait to see.
He is such a talent. I don't think this is an overstatement. He could be elite at three positions: tight end, receiver, and defensive end. We talked to Randy McMichael, who played at Georgia, played over a decade in the NFL, is in Atlanta doing radio, and you and I were doing it together. And he said, you might need to try him at defensive end. He's a dog.
And going back and looking at something like the scouting reports, the recruiting reports on him, I mean, there's a lot of people a year ago that thought he was going to be a defensive end. Like in the recruit, like once it was all said and done, they thought that he was just going to be too good and too dynamic. I think it's a little bit of personal choice for him. I mean, I think he knows he can influence in either side of the ball, but I can't wait to see the way that LSU uses him, not only in the red zone, because you just heard Ogeron say it. He doesn't consider him a tight end. I mean, he considers him a wide receiver. And once you see him in a uniform, you'll see
Did he
why.
surprise you? He surprised me the first time I saw him, because I've seen the highlight tape.
Talking about how physically imposing it?
Yes.
I saw him in a sling.
I expected him to be a little skinny, just because, okay, he's kind of a receiver, tight end, and we're going to figure out which one he's going to play. No, Coach, he's 250 in every pound of it.
LSU is recruited at such a high level that they've had one or two guys in every recruiting class, Patrick Peterson, Leonard Fournette, Derek Stingley Jr., Jamar Chase, that have come in and looked physically like they're already ready to go. This guy, Gilbert, the best. I mean, like the most impressive by far. It ain't even close.